So today I'm going to take a look at this BBC article that was on the front page of their news site. So we can see here it's making a definitive claim in the headline: why plane turbulence is becoming more frequent and more severe. Now it's actually rehashing something that they I think reported on last year. I actually did a video of it. You can see here. I'll put the URL in the description as usual. So yeah, so it's just rehashing something they've done before. So they start off talking about some guy, Andrew Davis, who was on his way to New Zealand. It actually kind of implies that this was a recent flight, actually, but it's actually referring to a Singapore Airlines flight from last year. They do actually mention that later in the body of this article that it was from 2024, but it's a little bit misleading there, sort of suggesting that this has just happened just recently. But when we actually go into the article, it actually gives no data whatsoever to show that turbulence is becoming more frequent and more severe. And if we search for the word could, we'll see that it's actually qualified in the article, though. So we can see here, but as climate change shifts atmospheric conditions, experts warn that air travel could become bumpier. And then a bit further down here, another one: for every 10 minutes of turbulence, that could now increase to 20 or 30 minutes. So if turbulence does get more intense, it could become more dangerous too. And so we can see through the article here that it's actually qualified that this could happen. So the headline is clearly incorrect. And I can't imagine that isn't deliberate, because the BBC should have people clever enough to be able to match the headline to what's actually reported in the article. So there's another one here. Each type, which is types of things going on in the atmosphere there, could bring severe turbulence. Again, clear air turbulence could also soon rise. Again, increase in severe turbulence that's enough to lift you out of your seat could potentially bring more accidents. Again, the word could. Then it goes on to talk about people who are scared of flying. I'm not too sure that this article is really going to help their fear much. Again, the word could there, they're referring to a study published in the Royal Society in 2020, something to do with wing design, and then something again about AI solutions as well to try and reduce the amount of turbulence that planes deal with. So they haven't actually justified the headline at all. And if we look at the bottom here, again, they qualify it. So this paragraph here, it says, but even if turbulence does become more frequent and more severe, experts argue this isn't cause for worry. Well, they're saying, but even if it does, but the headline has actually told us that it is becoming more frequent. This is not unusual for the BBC to be untrustworthy with these kind of things. Some time ago, unfortunately, I haven't got the emails anymore, but some time ago, I complained to the BBC about a news article with a headline something along the lines of hottest temperature ever. And then when you actually look at the article, it's not talking about ever, it's just talking about hottest temperature recorded. So I complained about this, thinking that the reasonable answer would be, yes, the headline is misleading, we'll change it to say hottest temperature recorded. So the first response I got was that it was an editorial decision, which kind of didn't really answer my complaint and just stated the bleeding obvious that headlines were a result of editorial decisions. So I escalated that to the next point in the complaints process. And this time I got a different response, basically saying that it's not misleading. I still wasn't happy, so I escalated it again. I think that goes to the executive complaints unit. And I was absolutely gobsmacked when the response to that told me that I was reading this too literally. So I was reading the word ever as you would reasonably expect to read it. and that they couldn't keep the story straight. So I got three different responses, and it struck me that I wasn't dealing with an organisation of integrity. So it doesn't surprise me at all that they're doing this again. They've clearly got form with this kind of thing. Anyway, if you find these videos worthwhile, please feel free to share it on any social media or anywhere else where people might be interested to look at it.